Welcome. My name is Jill Diane Bittinger. I invite you to explore and review my newest book, Teaching with the Soul in Mind, on my website, transformededucation.com, Amazon, or Barnes & Nobles. This is the second presentation in a series. I'm here today to stir you to wonder. In part one of this series, we begin with a consideration of our collective consciousness and its part in educating towards a coherent, healthy world. We are ready to take on conscious evolution. Educators are called to consider how to facilitate healing and wholeness. It calls us to move beyond intellect alone in order to integrate the heart and body wisdom with the mind, as well as to integrate social emotional intelligence. We can choose to nurture the soulful self. Who am I? Why am I here? In this journey, we will explore these compelling questions more deeply. What is the unifying link that connects through the eons of time? How do we move beyond busy work, distractions, and mundanity to connect with the wisdom of a larger, purposeful life? We answer the call. We address the soulful self within. Being willing to imagine into what sparked the creation of all that we see and know, its immense complexity, and our personal connection to this power is the first step. Making the time for this reflection is valuable. You are invited to be a part of the awakening to life's grand mystery of reason and purpose, to feel an authentic personal connection to the mystery of the universe and the cosmic creator of it all. As human beings, we have immense brain power. Unique from other mammals, we carry an evolved capacity for language, reason, and logic. We also carry an emotional vitality that gives us guiding influence. In this realm of the emotion, we find inspiration. What inspires the achievement of amazing things? What will feed the brain and also inspire the heart? How do we best nurture our young for the complexity of these times? How do we inspire them? What new understandings do we reach for? Conscious evolution is a consideration of how we can facilitate it in our respective circles of influence. Our willingness to ask, to imagine, and to make time opens the door to hear the still, small, quiet voice within that connects us to our soulful selves. It is a journey of lifetimes that can move us beyond identification with the personality alone, the personality that sometimes can feel disconnected from the larger forces at work in our lives. This idea is not new. In fact, it brings us back to the origins of Western education. Socrates first taught on the importance of the soul and the use of reasoning in the service of virtue, lasting contributions to humanity. Plato, student of Socrates, helped us to understand the significance of this inner connection and important inclusion of desire and emotion. He stated, "The purpose of education is to give to the body and to the soul all the beauty and all the perfection of which they are capable." That is the purpose we can choose to remember. Conscious evolution embraces our active participation. This concept moves us beyond the prevailing view of evolution taking place randomly and happenstance, all of it thought to arise from a mechanistic universe, one part mechanically built upon the next, leaving us to wonder how those parts lined up in order to give us the multi-layered life experience of today. Within the framework of natural selection and survival of the fittest, we keep ourselves limited to a perspective of never-ending competition for limited goods. What about the collaboration, generosity, and social cohesion we also know to be possible? Is the competition-based story of our origins still serving us? The scientist and researcher Greg Braden helps us to consider that science itself is pointing towards a fresh look to answer the proverbial questions of who we are and how we came to be. Are we willing to embrace the story that is emerging? Braden is a scientist who notes that evolution is a fact supported through the fossil records. However, In the DNA records and our ability to rebuild genomes built from the bone marrow of fossilized remains, a different story emerges. It tells us that we did not descend from the Neanderthal. The DNA shows that we showed up about 200,000 years ago as what is known as modern humans. The new findings are threatening. Universities often exhibit considerable pressure to maintain the status quo story, even when findings provide new insight. Braden encourages us to instead allow the evidence to lead in revealing whatever story it tells, inviting our investigation into this conversation. Our worldview affects how we think. As we globalize, this is especially relevant. When we perceive ourselves as random processes of genetic mutations or a, quote, behavior pattern that chemical systems exhibit at a certain level of complexity, which is the definition in many textbooks, we lose something very unique and special about who we really are. Does that definition of life truly reflect the full vibrancy of the life experience? Perhaps the ease in the killing for entertainment through movies and games reflects this level of disconnection with the sacred essence of life. Where do we instill a felt sense of the precious gift life is? Education can help to provide that path. Our DNA tells us we are something much more than random change in genetic mutation. Human by Design is Braden's book that outlines the peer-reviewed scientific findings that back up this statement. The evidence does not back up the story of random mutation evolving us to our present level of complexity. Braden points out that there is hope in recognizing what nature can teach us. Breakdown can lead to new models of a higher order. What we therefore need to consider is the way we break through rather than break down. Nature also reveals incredible mathematics within its design. What is this telling us? Let's begin with seeing it as the cosmic imprint of an intelligent creator. When we consider ourselves as whole human beings, body, mind, emotion, and a soulful self that connects with the divine wisdom of a cosmic creator, a shift happens. We become cosmic players within a marvelous and mysterious universe. This perspective empowers the value of a soulful connection to the deep mystery of life as a framework to hang the expanded thinking that very much includes the sciences. With deep respect for the science and the advanced viewpoints it provides, we allow our reasoning to be based on the eternal quest for fundamental truth. Albert Einstein himself said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed." From Living Philosophies, 1931. It was another scientist, Nikola Tesla, that illumined us. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This awareness is leading the way for breakthroughs in scientific understanding. We will examine a key one that affects education. Science itself is now bridging between the realms of science and spirituality. We are coming to understand that the mind and brain are two different elements. The brain is the hardware, and the mind is the powerful software, which has everything to do with how we grow our belief systems, the programs we run. It is a software that we are constantly updating. Let us consider the difference between the mechanistic and the quantum view. Mechanistic science separates each part as though it is a bit in a machine. The belief is that all can be understood by taking it apart to its smallest element, all of it explainable and eventually observable, a fully objective reality. Yet this view begins to break down through the scientific studies in the quantum realm. With the advent of the atomic age, electron microscope, and quantum mechanics, it has revealed that everything is not as simple as once was believed. As quantum physics has concerned itself with getting to the root of the part that makes up the whole, seeking the smallest quanta, they have collectively created a truly massive undertaking in building the CERN Hadron Collider. From working with the CERN Hadron Collider, the findings from Peter Higgs with Robert Brout, Francois Englert, and team explain that shortly after the Big Bang, a force field came into existence, and it is how the particles interact with this field that gives them their mass. This electromagnetic field is detectable through observing light particles and can be known as the quantum field. This image of the Millennium Run simulation was created by the Max Planck Society's Supercomputing Center in Garching, Germany, which I obtained through Science Photo. It reveals dark matter distribution previously thought of as empty space. Max Planck himself said, "There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force is the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter." Max Planck. The famous physicist Fritjof Capra wrote in the Tao of Physics, "Science does not need mysticism, and mysticism does not need science, but man needs both." It is within the quantum realm that we can understand the invisible net that connects all things, the field of which we all form a part. From this understanding, we can choose to affect the whole by starting with ourselves. Let's update our belief systems and our children's to honor and uplift the life experience for all beings in union with nature, one another, and a sense of the mystical spirit of creation within and without. Let's update it in order to understand and embrace that we are part of the fabric of a divine cosmos. The world is calling for us to reach out to this new understanding, one in which we recognize that we affect our material reality through our thoughts, feelings, and energy. How would this understanding affect the design of education? It would affect it through providing a deeper sense of belonging and significance to the grand story of life. This feeling of connection and value offer the hidden weight to the tip of the iceberg of our personal reality. Both home life and education play an essential role in providing this weight. The evolution of education. We can see, hear, and feel within the bones the calling for a substantial philosophy that serves as the grounding for our continued collective evolution. A philosophy that embraces the quantum model of reality. Thank you to Dr. Teresa Bullard and her mystery teachings on Gaia Conscious Media for her help to identify this model as contextual, conscious, complementary, and connected. The advances of digital over analog helps us to understand the significance of quantum technology as it feeds the leaps and bounds in our personal capabilities. Quantum principles are seen to underlie everything from ourselves to galaxies. It says that the universe is participatory, that our thoughts matter, that our choices matter. Quantum principles reveal a deeper truth about who we really are. How do we awaken this light of understanding? How do we instill it in our young? We begin by recognizing our wholeness and listening to our hearts. We learn the science and practice of coherence with an aim towards synergy and harmony. HeartMath.org helps lead the way with giving cutting-edge science empirically proven. Through their research and technologies, we're given a path to influence education on a global scale. As a global coherence emissary, Transformed Education invites others to play an active part in promoting the HeartMath.org concept, the Global Coherence Initiative. Coherence always means a harmonious, energy-efficient system that is stable over time. Dr. McCready and his team from HeartMath has developed tools to measure this. He and his team provide empirical, measurable, concrete science to validate its importance. HeartMath recognizes that it is science itself backing up the new understandings of the inherent interconnection that's weaving itself into all aspects of our lives. This research speaks for itself and forms the foundation for the building the coherent classroom connection. We can see that connection is the golden thread that provides the personal, social, and global direction for our future. Children and adults alike have needs beyond being wired technologically or information fed to their brains alone. Each one of us puts out an energy that others feel and respond to. Let's grow these threads of connection with loving care. We are wired for connection on the me, we, and global scale. How do we answer the call to understand the universe and our place within it? We begin with one of the most challenging journeys we can make, from the head to the heart. Connecting within leads to connections without. Personal coherence leads the way to social coherence. Researching measures energy field environments and the incredible phenomenon that takes place through activating heart qualities like care and communication, compassion, and acceptance. This creates an energy that uplifts the people around them through the energetic field. When multiple people within families, teams, groups, or communities are practicing coherence, the effects are magnified. This social coherence boosts collective intuition and creates more flow and harmonious outcomes. Remember the wisdom in the statement, it takes a village to raise a child. We are in a time of collective awakening. As James Redfield taught us in the Celestine Prophecy, it is one where we realize that we can end human conflict if we instead choose to tap into a mystical consciousness. Through sensitization, we move into a place of love. In this state, we naturally send energy back to the earth and one another. The more we can love and appreciate others, the more energy flows into us. That's why loving and energizing others is the best possible thing we can do for ourselves. Transformed Education is a portal for your contribution. Reach out and connect. Support our efforts. Share what you have to share. We are building the community. Thank you.